Dear students, let us start with the new topic, phylum Mollusca, salient features. Mollusca is a word derived from the Latin word mollusks, which means soft-bodied. You can see in this picture I have shown you that the body is basically very soft, and the Latin word mollusca is the name of soft nut within thin shell. So surrounding this soft body is a shell. It is giving the appearance of a nut with having the very thin shell around it and a soft body inside. So because it resembles with the nut having shell outside and the soft body, so it is called mollusk. Uh, in Latin, the mollusca means mollusca word refers to the bivalve shell. This shell I have shown you, it has two parts, the upper part and the lower part. Such type of shell is called as bivalve shell and the soft-bodied animal within the shell. Now, Mollusca is the second largest phylum, having about 1 lakh living and 3,500 fossil species. First largest phylum was Phylum Arthropoda, having about 9 lakh species, whereas it is having 1 lakh species and some fossil records of 3,500 mollusks is also present. Fossils, the animals, the mollusks which were not which are not present today, but they were present uh, prior to this period, and they got preserved in the earth in the form of the fossils. They have at least two characteristics features which you will not find anywhere else in the animal kingdom. Number one, radula. Number two, mental. You can see in the digestive system, just uh, in the mouth, you are having a radula. In the enlarged section, you can see this is the radula. We shall discuss this radula later on also, but you can see it is a tongue-like structure having teeth on it, so it is meant for rasping the food. And then the mental, you can see this one is the mental. Whole of the visceral organs, they are covered over by a membrane called the mental. The mental is present just below the shell. These two features are not present anywhere else in the animal kingdom. They are terrestrial as well as aquatic, and aquatic means marine as well as freshwater. The body is soft and the body is unsegmented, but they are bilaterally symmetrical, consisting of head. So this is the head where both is present. Then you are having the foot. This one is foot. You can see over here. This is the foot. This is the head, and then the mental. I have already shown you. It is present within the shell, and then the visceral mass present enclosed within the mental. Exception is monoplacophora, which are segmented. So monoplacophora class of the phylum Mollusca is having the segmented mollusks. The body is clothed within one layered, often ciliated epidermis. So outermost layer of the body is the ciliated epidermis, and the shell which is present, you can see here. If present, when present, it can be a univalve, like you can see this is the univalve shell. It is not having the two parts, or it may be a bivalve having upper part and the lower part. Both these shells, they are the part of the exoskeleton. Sometimes they are internal skeleton is also present, and This shell is often always secreted by the mantle. Mantle is the layer present within the shell outside the visceral mass. So mantle secretes the shell. Head is distinct. You can see it is very distinct. It is clearly visible. It has bear the mouth. It has eyes also. You can see these are the eyes. The tentacles are also present there. These one, these are sensory function. Uh, and other sense organs are also present, except in Pelecypoda, Scephalopoda, which are not having these sensory organs. Ventral body wall is modified into muscular, flat, and puff-like surface, the foot. So this foot is basically the modified body wall. The foot which is variously modified for creeping, burrowing, and swimming. So the purpose of this foot is if they are terrestrial for creeping as well as for burrowing. If they are in water, the foot is meant for swimming. Mental or perium. Pallium, mental is also called pallium. It is a fold of dorsal body wall. So you can see ventral body wall is modified in the form of foot, whereas the dorsal body wall is modified in the form of the mental. It covers the visceral mass. I have already told you visceral mass means the visceral organ. All the you can see heart is there, digestive system is there, reproductive system is there. All these visceral mass are the vital organs. They are covered over by a covering called the mental. And if the shell is present outside it, always there is space between the mental and the shell. The space is called as mental cavity. No, sorry, the space between the mental and the body mass. So the mental is not always remain fixed with the body mass, but it has a space inside it between the visceral mass and the mental layer called the mental cavity. Mental usually protrudes in the form of flaps well beyond the visceral mass itself. So you can see visceral mass is though present over there, but it is protruded up to this region. It is protruded up to this region. So it may be present beyond the mass of the visceral mass. Visceral mass contains the vital organs of the body in a compact form, taking the form of a dorsal hump or dome. So, because all the visceral organs are present on the dorsal side of the foot, so because of their occupying the same position, they form a dome shape feature among the mollusks. You can see over here also dome-like feature of the mollusks. Body cavity is hemocoel. Hemocoel means cavity filled with the blood-like fluid and is reduced. Very reduced body cavity is there and is represented by. So reduced means it is present only in the form of pericardial cavity, cavity around the heart, gonadal cavity. That is the lumen of the gonad is showing the uh, rudiments of the body cavity, and then the kidney, that is lumen of the nephron, is shown by the cavity. Nowhere else you will find the cavity. Digestive system complete with digestive glands or liver. So it has a complete digestive system means mouth and anus, having digestive gland, liver, also called as hepatopancreas. Radula I have already explained you. Radula is often compared with the tongue. It is having teeth. So the teeth help in rasping, scraping, or cutting of food. Then it is having pharynx also, except in the group Plechipoda, which are not having that complete or the digestive system of such a nature. Circulatory system is of both types, open in some and closed in some. I'm not repeating open and closed because we have already discussed in previous phylas in detail what is the open and what is the closed. Respiration is by gills, also called as genidia. Sometimes it is by lungs, sometimes it is by both the gills as well as lungs. Respiratory pigment is usually hemocyanin. Now, the excretory system consists of a pair of metanephridia kidneys, which are true coelomoduct. True coelomoduct means the ducts which are communicating the coelomic cavity to the outside. It looks like as if the ducts are coming from the coelom and they communicate from pericardial cavity. So I have already told you that the coelom is present around the heart in the cavity called the pericardial cavity, and it is present also within the nephrons. So they communicate this cavity to the exterior by a pore called as nephridiopore. So their kidney is metanephridia type, having the metanephridia type of excretory system. Nervous system consists of paired, you can see these cerebral ganglia, then paired pleural ganglia, then paired pedal ganglia, and the part of body wall behind the head, and that often lie close to or fused with the cerebral ganglia. So what is that? This is the pleural definition of the pleural. That is cerebral ganglia means present within the head. Then the pleural ganglia are the ganglia which sends the nerves to the mental and the body part of the body, sorry, the part of the body wall behind the head, and that lie close to or fused with the cerebral ganglia. Sometimes these pleural remain fused with the cerebral ganglia. Then you are having the pedal ganglia over there, and then you are having the visceral ganglia present in the mass, visceral mass, you can say. They are joined by longitudinal nerve. You can see this is the longitudinal nerve, as well as they are joined by the transverse nerve. Some sense organs includes eyes, statocyst, receptors for touch. Statocyst is the sensory organs which maintain the balance, smell, and taste. So sense organs for all of these are present. Dioecious or monoecious, both forms are present. Gonoducts opening into renal ducts are exterior. Sometimes they are directly opening into exterior, sometimes they are opening into renal ducts, that means the duct of the metanephridia. Fertilization is external, that means they lays the eggs outside in the water and then the fertilization takes place between the egg and the sperm. Sometimes it is internal within the body. Development is direct or indirect. Direct, not involving the larval form. The indirect, involving the larval form. The larva is called procophore larva or the veliger larva. This is all about the salient feature of phylum mollusca.